Yeah.
Hi guys, my name is Alina and I'm a personal trainer here at Fitness Lounge. Today we're gonna go through 5 exercises for your next push day. Alright guys, our first movement today is going to be a floor press, for which we're gonna be using a dumbbell. I'm gonna be using 2 dumbbells. You can go up to, I'm using 15 pounds today. I like to go a little heavier on this as it's not a full range of motion. You're not required to go for a full range of motion as your dead stop is the floor, unlike on a bench press. The direct benefits of this is if you have any irritation around your shoulder area, if you have any injuries, and you cannot actually go for a full range of motion, I would recommend trying this out. Also, you're able to overload your tricep a lot more on this, so it's a nice little variation for a chest press. So we're gonna jump straight into it. For a setup, you're gonna be bending your knees here and pressing your feet into the floor. I'm using a mat, but depending on where you are, whether you're at home or at the gym, you can be on your rug as well. So I'm bringing my dumbbells in with me right away, pressing my head into the floor, bringing my elbows 45 degrees out, and my elbows stay on the floor at all times. Deep breath in, I'm pressing my lower back into the floor, so I'm gauging my core. I would like to think about it as I'm bringing my belly button into my spine throughout the whole entire movement. Deep breath in, I am unlocking the dumbbells over my face. Deep breath in, on the lowering face, separating the elbows, dead stop, coming straight back out. So you're lightly tapping your elbows on the floor and coming straight back out. Deep breath in, breathing out on effort. Once again, bringing your belly button towards your spine, making sure you're not overarching and putting any pressure on your lower back here. For the rep range, I recommend doing this at a little higher rep range. So go a little heavier and don't be afraid of going anywhere from 10 to 15 reps, about 4 sets. I would also recommend starting with this movement as it requires a lot more strength and a lot more concentration in comparison to, let's say, a chest fly. So start with this and then you can go for higher rep ranges and more weight. All right, guys, our second movement for today is going to be an incline chest press. So for this, we're going to require a bench on a slight incline and our dumbbells. So the setup for this, you're going to need to always focus on any push movement, which I mentioned in one of my previous videos as well. Check it out. Is consistent leg drive. So you want to make sure that your legs are always involved on these movements, whether you're doing a shoulder press, a regular press, whatever it is that you're requiring your chest for, you always want to make sure that your legs are still involved. So we're going to go ahead and pick up our dumbbells. I'm using my 15s today. I like to go for a higher volume on my incline, so I like to go for anywhere from 10 to 15 as well. I go for a regular 3-set normally. Rep range, so gonna go back down, pressing my head into the bench, my upper back and my glutes in it as well. Deep breath in, elbows 45 degrees out. My dumbbells are starting at my shoulder level, deep breath in, and then I'm pressing them straight up. Deep breath in on the way up, breathing out on the way up. Deep breath in on the lowering face. Breathe out on effort, driving your elbows out. Once again, your core is engaged even when you're laying down on the bench. Also pay attention to how my legs are not just dangling about. I'm standing on my feet the whole entire time. That's also beneficial for your safety purposes as much as it is for your strength. All right, guys, our third movement today is going to be an alternating shoulder press. The whole concept of it is you're not getting any rest at the bottom. The second that one arm comes down, the other one comes up immediately. That's the whole misconception with the movement, which you're going to understand once I get into it, is that a lot of people actually give the one arm a rest at the bottom, but you're actually supposed to get straight back into the shoulder press. So for this one, we're going to get dumbbells. Once again, if you want to use kettlebells, that's also fine. The similar concept with your feet, where we're using a leg drive and a bench. However, for this particular movement, we're using a bench where it's upright setting. So grabbing our dumbbells. For the rep ranges and the sets, I like to once again go for a standard of 3 by 10. It depends on your programming and how heavy you've gone on the 2 previous ones. I like to keep it anywhere from 8 to 10 reps, about 2 to 3 sets here. So pressing your feet into the ground, bringing your butt into the bench, driving your shoulder blades into the bench as well, and your head stays connected on the bench as the same as the rest of your body. Bringing the dumbbells next to your shoulders. It's a full range of motion to make sure that it's not just stopped right over here. It's not 90 degrees. You're bringing your elbow all the way down. So starting from here, you're full lockout. As the other one comes down, the other one pulls up immediately. So there's no rest here. You're alternating the whole entire time. There's no break in between. Making sure you're breathing out on effort, so it's and bracing your core throughout the whole entire movement once again. This is meant to fatigue your shoulders a lot quicker rather than using a single arm or both at the same time, simply because it also requires a lot more coordination and due to the fact that you're not resting at the bottom and bringing your arm up immediately. So give it a try. All right, guys, our 4th movement are lateral raises, and we're gonna go for about 4 sets of 15 here. I use lighter weights. I don't even go above a 10, honestly, on here. If you want to progress to 15, sure, that's completely up to you. I try to stay at about 10 pounds here. So the concept here is you're going to go and drive your hands to the sides, slightly bending your elbow. I don't recommend going full straight, personally, because I feel like it strains my shoulders quite a bit. But then again, I have a rotator cuff injury, so that depends on the person. I like to cue it in a way where you want to think about your pinky coming up, not your thumb. So you want to make sure that it's not your thumb coming up, but it's your pinkies up. So let's go ahead and grab our dumbbells. Once again, I'm using 10s. And as I mentioned, here you can mess around with higher rep ranges. So keeping your feet together, gonna drive your dumbbells to the center, driving the dumbbells out and pinkies up. You can literally, if it makes it easier, pinkies can come up as if you're at a tea party. As the second you're feeling a little bit more comfortable with the form, you can put them down. What to avoid is bringing your thumbs up in the air. This is not the way to go. You're going to feel the difference immediately because this is a lot easier. You're not targeting the actual muscles that you want to look for. So pinky up, 90 degrees. You don't have to fly up. We're not taking off the floor. So just 90 degrees, shoulders up, chest up, and try to make sure that you find a spot in front of you where you can fixate on so that your chin stays up as well, since you're setting the tone for the rest of your body. So give it a try. All right, guys, our last little finisher is going to be a tricep pushdown. So I like to go a little bit lighter on the way, depending on how much tricep work I actually did on the main movements. So we're going to be using a 10 today, 10 to 20. And you want to make sure that you're actually going for higher rep ranges here, as it's a smaller muscle, same as a bicep curl. So we're going to come closer to the cable machine, bringing our elbows to the sides of your body and making sure that they're not going anywhere. Your elbows are staying static, they're not going out or forward at any point, because that way you're going to be actually working through your triceps a lot more. Deep breath in, bracing your core, bringing the rope down and pulling it apart at the bottom. Bringing it back to the center, pulling it apart at the bottom. That way working through our tricep as we're fixating it at the bottom. Breathing out on effort, which is again as you're pulling the rope down. Deep breath in, breathe out on the way down. And we can repeat this honestly up until a rep range of 30 if you want to go up until failure, depending on your programming, as I like to say. Everybody's different. I hope you guys enjoyed the workout. Give us a like and subscribe, and I hope to see you guys back on the channel sometime soon.